Hi, and welcome to the Holly C Podcast, a show about expressing your brilliance with ease and flow. I'll show you how to take the woo-woo out of the clouds and apply it to real life for effortless action. This show is for world changers and future world changers, so if you know there's more to life and you're wondering what's next, this is your show. Hi, I'm Holly, your host. I'm a speaker, author, teacher of health and vitality and spirituality, and also a dragon spirit guide. I'm also one of those people who, as a kid, was very, very shy, and I had people always saying to me, "You're so quiet. You're so quiet. You're so quiet." And I wouldn't say anything. In my head, I'd be thinking, okay, stop telling me I'm quiet, but would I actually say that? No. So this episode is for all those quiet people out there, and you know who you are, because there is a quiet revolution going on, and you may have noticed it. So right now in the United States, there is an election coming up, and I have always steered away from talking about politics because as a quiet person, it's ingrained in me to stay quiet, to not ruffle feathers. But in the media, there are a lot of stories of division and anger and chaos, and it dominates because it's what draws the most clicks. It's what gets the most comments and feedback, because controversy flips this switch in our brains at the what people refer to as the reptilian brain, which is more of that instinctual brain that is focused on survival. The conflict and the loud voices, that's what draws our attention, because from an evolutionary standpoint, those are things we had to pay attention to survive. But we're human beings, so we are blessed with a more developed brain too. The one that appreciates beauty, that can look at a sunset and marvel at the colors, that can enjoy the embrace of a loved one or appreciate a smile on a young child's face. We have that brain too, but we silence ourselves because the reptilian brain is almost like that dominant voice within ourselves. It's hard to let go of that fear. It's hard to move past that because it's essential for survival. But times have changed. How many of you believe in reincarnation and past lives? If you believe in it, you know that you were probably persecuted. You were probably shunned. You were probably very vulnerable, and you may have even lost your life because you spoke up. But communities were much more isolated in the past. It was a lot easier to make someone quietly disappear, or for a tyrant to oppress people and get away with it. And right now you might be thinking of all the examples in the media where you're like, no, there's all these tyrants who are thriving. And I ask you to forget about what you see in the news right now. Forget about all the division and conflict that you can list on the fingers of your hands, the toes on your feet, that you could make a chart as high as the Empire State Building listing off all sorts of conflicts, problems, and division in the world. Instead, look at where you are right now. If you're listening to this podcast, chances are there is no immediate threat to your physical well-being right now, is there? If I ask you to think about people you love, the people you care about, there are people that come to mind. Now, I want to ask you to imagine this scenario. Let's say you're going out for a walk, and there is an elderly couple walking in front of you, and the man is walking with a cane, and he stumbles and falls. what would you do? Would you walk past them and ignore them? Would you take the cane and run away with it? Would you ask them about their political views and then say, sorry, can't help you because you support the party that I don't support? No, you wouldn't do that. And the vast majority of people wouldn't do that either. They would stop and see if the couple needed help. There is an inherent goodness in the vast majority of human beings. There's that spark in your heart, in your soul, that wants to grow, that feels tremendous love for yourself and others, that admires and appreciates beauty, that desires a better world for all of us. So I want to ask you to take a deep breath and envision just one positive outcome. So it's like everyone who's listening to this episode right now is collectively making a wish for a better world, for expansion and growth, for good to triumph over evil. Go ahead. Just picture one thing you would like to see. Don't picture what you don't want to see. Picture what you would like to see. And you might not know exactly the mechanics of how that will happen or what exactly will manifest, but feel into the feeling of it. And the next time you have the opportunity to express an opinion about this, do so. You see, there's a quiet revolution going on right now where quiet people are realizing they need to speak up. And by speaking up, we shape our collective future. But if you don't share your ideas, if you don't share your feelings, your voices, your thoughts, your opinions, then nobody knows. And then that idea will take longer to unfold and manifest. But when you speak up, you'll find that there are other voices joining your voice. I would like to believe that the vast majority of people are not on the polar extreme saying my way or your way, that most people understand compromise. Most people want to work for the best of everyone, not just themselves, not just their family, not just their community, but for the good and benefit of all humanity. And if you're questioning whether this is really true, look at yourself. What do you want? Take a moment and pay attention to what you've been paying attention to. When you pay attention to the negativity in the news, then you see negativity. It colors how you see the world. But if you bring your attention and awareness back to your friends, your family, your loved ones and community, do you see that much conflict? Do you see murders and abuse and cruelty and greed and selfishness? You may see some people who exhibit these characteristics, but are they the vast majority of the people you interact with? See, it's the reptilian brain that hangs on to that negativity for survival, but it's that higher evolved mammal brain. And if you feel into your heart and soul, it's that soul's calling, showing you that there's a great deal of love and beauty in the world. If you give voice to that and focus more on that and allow the quiet within yourself to draw your attention, not the squeaky wheel reptilian brain, but that quiet voice that calls you to expansion and exploration, the voice of grace and serenity, harmony, calm, peacefulness, love, you'll realize that all around you are quote-unquote quiet people, and they're starting to speak up, and that's the revolution I'm talking about. So I invite you to share your voice and join the quiet revolution. Your voice matters. But you have to believe within yourself that your voice matters. And that as you join this quiet revolution of all these quiet people speaking up, you'll see that the vast majority of people believe in decency, kindness, and compassion, and want to support and help each other. And that's pretty much all I wanted to share today. So thank you for listening to the Holly C Show. Express your brilliance with ease and flow. And I look forward to connecting with you again in a future episode. You can find all the episodes online on my website, www.hollyc.com. Bye for now.